Bullock here. So this video is going to be all about adding your forms into DocuSign and how to go ahead and fill those out and send off for signatures. So the first thing that I have done, of course, is I have logged into agent.kw.com. I have come over to the Opportunities tab and I have my opportunity that I have started. So I'm going to go into there and go to Documents. Now if this is your first time in, it will be a little black button over here saying Start Your Transaction. Because I have been in here before, it's saying Go to Transaction. So I'm going to go ahead and go to the transaction, and it's going to ask me to log in, give my password. Interesting. And there we go. Now we are in. Okay, so this is going to take me into what is now called a room. A room is basically the same thing, if you're familiar with dot loop, is the same thing as a loop. So I can then come over here. This is actually the room where your documents will live, but one thing I want to show you is this details page. Now, completing this details page is actually really important. It's just going to help you pre-fill your things that are required within the documents, especially if you have the listing agent's name, also the buyer. Now this is where I would want to come in here and click up here at the top, Edit, and I will come in here and add my, this is my Bobby buyer, and their email is bobbybuyer@gmail.com, and their cell number is 678-555. Okay, and I can then also add in their address here. So this is helpful if you are actually doing a buyer brokerage and their address is required for compliance on the back page. This just helps you to do that a little bit quicker, and you don't have to fill it in on the form. And let's get to Georgia. Okay, and then if I had a buyer too, and now the buyer's agent. So if this is going to be me, I can put me in here. My cell number and my company, and I can also put in my address. And this is just going to help with the pre-filling of the forms. And Duluth, Georgia, my country, just so you know, you have to put in your country every time. And then if there was another buyer's agent, okay? So this is, and then I'm going to come down here and click Save. This is just going to help you to have some of your items pre-filled. Now you can always come over here and pre-fill some of these things also, should you want to. It's just going to then help go over. So let's go ahead and we will do this for 123 Main Street, and maybe that's in Duluth, and the county, and we can say Georgia. Okay, I can then start going in and filling out offer details and different things like that, should you want to. And then I can, so that is actually, I'm going to come down here and hit Save again. Big thing to remember, always hitting Save. If you have any type of anything and you go, if you've made any kind of changes and you just try and go on, those changes will not be saved. So now I'm going to come over here to Documents, and this is where I'm actually going to add in my documents. So the first thing that I'm going to do is come up here to the top where it has this Add button, and I'm going to come down to DocuSign Forms. And it's going to take me out to where I'm going to grab those forms from. And here we go. So it's going to bring up a Add DocuSign Forms. You're going to leave it the Forms library, and now you can come down in here to select your library. I'm going to go to the GAR, Georgia Association of Realtors, and I'm going to click that one. It's going to bring up all of my forms. Now I can also come in here and start typing what I'm looking for, and it's going to start taking me to those sections, and I can just click the document. I can either hit add, or maybe now I know I need to have a conventional. It's going to bring up the conventional. And maybe I also want to have an F. Doesn't like the numbers yet. And maybe I need to have protect. And it's going to bring up all of your things that we give out. So all of the forms. I can also then come in here and do my buyer broker. I'm going to add. Now it's sitting here thinking, and it's now added all of those forms that I just asked it to add into my room. Now, what if you have something that you have in your email or you have on your desktop? Then all you have to do is literally come here and hit add, go to computer, and then you can come in here and find the document that you're maybe looking for. And then it will add that document in there also. Okay, so filling out the forms are pretty much just like any system you have already used. We'll go ahead and click on this one and we'll go into it. Now the names and things are going to be pre-filled for you, yet none of your other information is going to be pre-filled. And as of right now, this is not connected to an MLS system. Okay, so you literally will click through each box, telling it exactly, I guess the month has changed, going through each one, making sure everything is completed. Okay. I also suggest that if you are unfamiliar with these forms, that you actually go and take one of the forms class with Dave Maxey, just so you have a better idea of what this all means. And I can put in and what's going to be to closing cost. Okay, and you basically get the gist of what I'm doing here. It's just filling out the contract at this point. Okay, then coming down, I'm going to go to the signing page. This is the same if you have a box that you have something that's going to be attached to a contract, just clicking it, putting the letter. None of that is different. Then coming down here, you can actually see that it is pre-filled in my buyer's name, their address, and their email. Now, you may not want this information on here for the actual purchase and sale. You can always go in and delete it from this form. Okay? Then you can see it has actually started to pre-fill information that I have. I can then go in here and start filling the rest of my information in. Just know that this does not put the dashes in there, so if you want the dashes, you must do that. and then putting in your email address. I did not have that completed on my details page, so it didn't put it in there for me. My broker's number. And my office. Okay, so now I have done everything that I need to do on this, and so I can now save and close this form. And it's going to save all of the changes that I have made and take me back to my room once it is saved. Okay, so that is going to basically be the same exact thing with every form that you add in. You can make the changes within the form. Now we're going to get ready to send this form off for signatures. Okay, and the way that we do that is we actually are going to add the people into an envelope. And an envelope is basically going to be the signing vessel for this opportunity. Okay, so we are going to click the document that we want to go, and we are then going to go to the DocuSign. Now you can see it up here, it's the little pen, or you can come over to the actions, or you can go to envelopes. Okay, I have highlighted it and I'm now going to go to DocuSign. Now it's going to take me out into the envelope details. Okay, so now the envelope name, I like to name these, this is really important so you don't lose track of them, what this actually is. So this could be an offer for 123 Main Street. And then I can come down here. It does have the document loaded in. If I had forgotten to load an additional document here, I can always come over here and click Room Docs and add another document in should I need it. Okay? Now I'm going to go down, this is the only one I want to send, and I'm going to go down and add the recipients. So here I can either do pre-tagged roles, or I can go to the room participants. So I'm going to go ahead and go to the room participants, and it will bring up anybody that is attached to this opportunity. I mean, yeah, to this DocuSign opportunity room. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead, yeah, I need the Bobby the buyer, and we're going to have the agent. Okay, right now I do not need my market center in there for anything, and I'm going to hit add selected. Now you'll see that this actually takes me into, this is the first signer, and then this is also the first signer. This could be different, or this will be additional signers within here if you have another buyer. Okay, if I wanted me to sign first, I could always move me up, or I can move me down. Okay, now the next thing is the email subject. This is the subject that is actually going to come across in your client's email. So I always like to be pretty specific on it, so they understand what they are actually receiving. And then you can put in your message. Okay? Now I'm going to hit next, which is up here in the right hand corner. And it's going to take me over to where I can now add in the signatures and initials. So this is just the purchase and sale agreement. Now this is yellow for Bobby buyer. If I have to add a signature for another buyer, seller, or even an agent, I will, and I have them tagged within this envelope, you will see their name here. Okay, so I know I need to come to the bottom here and I need initials from the buyer, and that's going to be placed right there. Now the one thing about this is I have found it really helpful if you actually put the line on the document line, it has a tendency to put the signature right on the line and makes it look very professional. I can then scroll to the bottom of this form or any form and start looking for additional signature pages. Now you will notice that this is not editable once you're in here unless you actually are looking to put in a text box or something like that. Just make sure that it's your name that you're putting the text box in. Okay, coming down, and now I'm going to add a signature. And now I'm going to also add in a date. And I'm going to come down. Now I have to switch to the other person that has signing rights. And now I'm going to add in a signature and a date signed. Okay. Now I can also come out, and maybe I decided that, oh, I really need to have a text box up here in here that I want to fill out. Now I'm going to actually come over here okay, and I can add that in. Okay, now I can preview how it's going to look for the recipient. This is going to be the start button. It's going to come down and it's going to show me what I added here and where it wants me to sign here. And you'll notice, because I was still on my name, that's the preview that it actually went to. Okay, I can X out of here and go to the Bobby Buyer and hit recipient preview. It's then going to show me exactly where I have signature places for the buyer. So you have to choose the name to see exactly what's going to be done there. Okay, and you can see that. And then I'm actually going to just click send, and it's going to send my document off for signature. Okay, and you can see here it's in the envelope and it's waiting for others. Now if I go out to my email, I should be receiving, I will have received an email notification to get this signed. Okay, now if you receive a message back, this is where you will receive that message, and here is the history of this room. Okay, so you'll always know what's going on in this room. Now when this document comes back signed, it will actually be in here, and it will have a green box down in this corner showing signed, and that's when you can then work within that document. So hope you found this helpful, and please let me know if I can do anything else to assist you with DocuSign. Make it a great day.